Alright, in this video I'm going to be going over the P-Set Week 2. So we started off with just simple questions like in Algebra 2 using the distance formula and the midpoint formula. So on top we want to find the distance between 3, 5 and 5, 7. I'm going to recommend that you get to this point where you just look at 7 minus 5, realize that's 2 squared, and then 5 minus 3, also realize that's 2 squared, and this is all inside of a square root. So that gives me the square root of 8, which we know simplifies to the square root of 2 and square root of 4, which yields us a 2 square root 2. Your answer needs to be in simplest radical form, so make sure that it is. Read the directions. Then the next one is just finding the midpoint. So just like anything else, you want to find the average. You're going to add the two coordinates that correspond to each other together, and then divide by 2. And then the same thing here, 5 plus 7 divided by 2. That gives me 8 over 2, which is 4, and that gives me 12 over 2, which is 6. So there's that midpoint there for 6. And up here we're given the endpoint and we're given the midpoint. So there's a couple different ways that you can approach this. You can actually set up the equation like x1, x2 over 2, y1, y2 over 2. And here we know one of the points, and we actually know what each of these are equal to. We know this one is equal to 7. We know this one is equal to 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to input each of those and set them equal to each other. And so 2 plus x2 over 2 is equal to 7 is one of the equations I need to solve. And then 1 plus y2 over 2 is equal to 9. So you can see here I got 1 plus y2 equal to 18, and I get y2 equal to 17. All right, so we got 17 for that coordinate there, and then over here, multiply both sides by 2, that gives me 14, and then that makes my x2 12. So I got the point 12, 17. Okay, and then this latter half one, I am going to kind of squeeze it into here since we did do this one in class. This is where you have the square root of x minus 3 squared, so starting here to there. So I'll do the same thing, negative 1 minus 2 squared, and that is equal to 4. So we know that the distance is 4. So I'll square both sides. That becomes 16 equal to x minus 3 squared plus, looks like 9. I'll subtract 9 from both sides. And then I will square root both sides and add 3. So x is equal to 3 plus or minus square root 7. And you'll write them out as 2 points. So 3 plus square root 7 comma negative 1, and 3 minus root 7 comma negative 1. Okay, in order to show this one, the vertices of a right triangle, all you need to show is that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And so I'll leave that as an exercise for you. Graph it, compute those distances just like we did previously. Then on this bottom part, like I explained in class, the easiest way is to prove that the diagonals, or prove information about the diagonals. So first we prove that they're congruent, again, using the distance formula. And then we prove that they are perpendicular, using the slope form, the fact that the slopes are opposite reciprocals of one another. So in this case, this one ends up being root 50 for both, and I think the slopes are negative 1/7 and 7 if I remember correctly. And that is the P-set.